Alright, let's get this all base scenarios run a-goin' with Forest Frontiers. Okay, open the park, and then we want to build a long straight passage here. Okay, now we're going to build a junior roller coaster called Chocolate Log, open it up, and hire some staff. Now, the main rule of RCT speedrunning is that you can't use any of your custom built rides that you had prior to the run. So the two types of rides designs that you can use are those that come with the game, like Chocolate Log, or a custom built design that you build and save during the speed run, which you're about to see one example of in a second here. First, we need to build this path, and then come over into our ride research, maximize our funding, and uncheck everything except roller coasters, because we are not building anything but roller coasters in this run. At least not anything besides any other rides besides roller coasters. So here's our first custom built ride. A junior roller coaster, 3 up in the front, and then 3 up in the back with the chain hill lift. Entrance exit, and we're going to build some paths to connect them to the main path. We're going to come over here into ride settings and go into reverse incline launch shuttle mode, which makes a complete circuit, a complete ride in a very small footprint, perfect for spamming. I like to save it with the path with a bunch of zeros so that it's near the top of it's at the very top, I should say, of my ride list. And then we need to build 5 of these here in Dynamite Dunes. So here we go. There's 4, and then 5. Then the next step, which you'll be seeing a lot of in this run, is to maximize our loan and then use ads. If you've ever played RollerCoaster Tycoon, you might be familiar with the ads. Basically, they are buying guests to be forced to spawn and enter into your park. It's extremely OP and basically the backbone of running this category. You use marketing campaigns to get your guests to come and meet your goals in the vast majority of these scenarios. So next up is Leafy Lake, which follows a similar format to Dynamite Dunes, except this time we'll be doing the second of our custom builds, and this one is the real workhorse of the run. This is the looping roller coaster, which will similarly be as small of a footprint as possible with the entrance and exit. Alright, and we're going to come into ride settings and do powered launch without passing station. That's very important because you do not want the ride flying off into the abyss behind it. Next, so we're going to build 4 of these here in Leafy Lake, and then we're going to run our ads, and then we are going to move on to the next scenario. Leafy Lake's guest threshold is pretty low. We only need to get 500 people into the park, so we're going to run our ads real quick at 12 weeks apiece, and then enter our turbo mode. Alright, we don't need to hire staff even for this one. Almost, and there we go. Perfect. Gaining some time back. Next up is Diamond Heights, which is a park value-based objective. So the way these work is we're going to spam a ride and place them in the park in testing mode, because in testing mode, they add to the park value. There we go, objective complete. In testing mode, they add to the park value without depreciating in value themselves. So they, unlike the rides that are open, they don't reduce in value. All right, next up is Evergreen Gardens, which is a huge park. So we're going to do some landscaping, and then we are going to get rid of some of these paths to minimize the chance of guests getting lost. When guests get real deep into a park and there's not a lot of rides or anything to do around them, they'll get upset and feel lost and don't want to be in the park anymore, and then they will leave, which is not what we want. We want 1,000 guests in this park. So what we're going to do is place 9 of these looping coasters. Here is 4, 5, and we want to spread them out a little bit. Here's 6. Then once we have all 9, we will rinse and repeat with the ads and staff. That's 8. One more. Let's go ahead and put the last one right here, right by the water. Beautiful. All right, maximize our loan. And we run our ads. Now, Evergreen Gardens, there's a little bit of RNG in this run. It doesn't affect things too much, but some scenarios you can complete in one cycle of ads without having to do any renewals. And Evergreen Gardens is one of the ones that sometimes you luck out and you can get enough, because when these ads end, you're going to see we're very close to our 1,000 guests. So we're just going to pop a few more ads off to kind of get us across that finish line of 1,000 guests. And this should do us. Perfect. Next up is Bumbly Beach, the last of our, quote, beginner parks. It's a pretty functioning park already, so the main thing we're going to do here is build some path and then expand out with our junior coaster, which we need to research. This will be the last time in the run you see the junior coaster, so give it up for our friend here. We're going to place 6 of these, and then if you're paying attention along at home, you'll probably know what comes next. It'll be 6 of these, and then we'll maximize our loan and run our ads. Oh, not chocolate log. We're done with chocolate log. That's 4. We're going to maximize our loans, run our ads, and then we will hire some staff to fix the broken rides and sweep up the puke to keep our guests happy and in our park. So here's our advertising campaign. Free entry, free rides, half price, and turbo mode we go. And this should carry us across the finish line. No problem. Come on, very close. Come on, thank you. All right, perfect. Next up is Trinity Islands, the first of our challenging parks. First thing we're going to do is research the looping coaster, which takes a few. There's like 3 before it. The reason that these parks tend to get more challenging is that the landscapes in the rest of the run tend to make placing rides a little difficult. There's lots of hills and water and other restrictions that we run into. But once we get the looping coaster, we will place 6 of them. So here's 3, 4. Oh, did not mean to do that. See, there's an example of it getting a little trickier already. So that's 4, 5. Oh, open it. And 6 up here. There are also a couple of, if you're doing a casual play, like financial restrictions in these later parks, but that doesn't really affect us in the speedrun because the strats for managing your cash flow in the speedrun are pretty optimized. So once we get these ads rolling, we will be moving on to the next park shortly. Might get a little time save here. Come on. Beautiful. Next up is Katie's World, another park value-based objective. So we want to research our looping coaster and head into turbo mode. And then we will be staying in turbo mode. I didn't really explain this in Diamond Heights because there wasn't time. Because that's a very fast scenario. But basically, once we have the ride unlocked that we're going to be placing, we want to stay in turbo mode because the game checks for park value at the end of each in-game month, and we want to cycle through time as quickly as possible so we can move on from the scenario as quickly as possible. I think 4 does it. Yep. Next up is Dinky Park, which is the same objective, just to reach a certain park value. So we need to unlock our looping coaster. And I like to, once the ride is unlocked, turn off funding here so that we don't unlock any new rides, and that the ride I'm spamming stays in the same place. No matter what, it doesn't get jostled around by any new inventions. Oh gosh, I think every ride in the park has broken down. That's funny. There's a little bit of an example of some RNG that can affect the run. You know, if all of your rides are broken down, guests won't want to stay. That's why we hire mechanics and handymen. All right. Next up is Aqua Park, and this is the first time you're gonna see us placing some stalls. So let's get some ice cream and drinks and a bathroom and run some ads. All of the rides in this park are sufficient to attract guests, so we're just gonna place some stalls in order to keep them happy, take care of their biological needs, and this is the first time we get to use the marketing campaign vouchers for free food and drink. Kind of the redheaded stepchild of the marketing campaigns in this game, or in the speedrun anyway. We only use them in some scenarios. Alright, we need to do 2 rounds of campaigns here in Aqua Park to get over that threshold. So let's just do 1 more round of everything at 12 weeks. And there we go. Perfect. Next up is Millennium Mines. The first thing we do here is drop the price down to 0, the admission fee. Something that's important to note about the mechanics of this game are that the value of your rides and the excitement rating of your rides and things dictate the maximum price you can charge to enter the park. And as a result, if you are below that price, you have a higher likelihood of attracting new guests. So when we place our park entrance fee at $0, we have the highest likelihood of attracting new guests. It's worth noting that the ad campaigns for free voucher to enter the park or half price admission to the park will still attract new people. Get this mine out of my way. They will still attract people even if the park entrance fee is 0. Alright, so in this scenario, we just need to place 6. After we build these paths, we just need to place 6 of these, so there's 4. This one can be a little tricky, there we go. And then number 6 down here, and then run our ads. Advertising for the park, and this one is good in 1 round of ads. Hire some staff. Come on, very close. There we go. 800 guests. Perfect. Getting some time back. Oh, I just noticed the gold on Aqua Park. That's nice. Alright, carts and coasters is another one where we place stalls. Whoops. Didn't mean to put that over the path. Alright, there we go. We need to place 2 sets of stalls here in carts and coasters. Come over here to do the second one, a toilet, drink stall, and fry shop. Come on, there we go. And then once we have those, we can run our ads. This is a pretty fully functioning park, just need some food and drink. And then we can keep rolling through. This one will take 2 rounds, but we do get to use voucher for free food and drink. The unsung hero of the run. We open back up the ads to monitor how much time they have left. And then once they are, yep, there we go. Part of the nuance of this run is like getting a feel for the timing of everything. Starting to get into the rhythm of like anticipating when you can hit the input to slow time back down to reset your ads. Stuff like that ends up being part of what you practice more and more with the run. Alright, next up is a scenario called Mel's World, which is pretty easy. We just need to place 3 looping coasters. No, I thought I selected... Anyway, the UI for this game can sometimes be a little tricky. It's very old school. Lots of things are like very condensed and easy to click on the wrong thing, even if you think it looks like you're not going to. So that's another challenge of the speedrun. Just making sure you click on the right stuff. And, you know, just rolling with it when you don't. So once those are down, we do our ads, and there's already a burger and drinks here, so we can use the vouchers for free food and drink as well. And then once we run the first round, we get very close to our objective, so we just need to kind of blast through with, you know, let's just do 6 weeks and everything. Or 7, that's fine. Or, you know, it doesn't really matter. Just, we don't need to spend the time to do all of them. Just give them one flick of the scroll wheel. And there we go. That's Mel's World. Next up, Mothball Mountain. This is probably my least favorite scenario just because it's a bit of a pain in the neck. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. It just takes a lot of practice to be good at this one, I think. So the first thing we want to do is build a path around the perimeter of the park. And we're looking to create as many flat, like, stretches of path as possible so that we can build rides reliably next to them. Down across this water, back up the hill. And we're looping back around to the front entrance here. This is kind of a mini version of a much longer path that we're going to build later that you'll see soon near the end of the run. Maximize our loans so that we can afford to build, so that we need to research them, the looping coaster. And then we're going to be doing 9 looping coasters across this very small park. So the placement, nailing the placement is very critical in this scenario. So here's 1, 2... Let's do our 3rd and 4th up here. 3, 4. Here comes 5. That's fine. You can get away with placing these without the entrance and exit path. 6, 7, 8. Let's do our 9th one over here. 9. Okay, now we run our ads. Because we already maxed our loan, we want to do just 6 weeks of these more expensive ads so we don't run out of money. And we can do 12 weeks for the cheaper ones. Getting turbo. And then once everything runs out, we might do one more push, but I think we're going to make it. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. That was a really good Mothball Mountain. Next up is Pacific Pyramids, a pretty easy scenario. We just need to place 6 looping coasters. And then run our ads. So this is a pretty straightforward one. Kind of a nice breather after Mothball Mountain being one of the harder ones. It is not the easiest in the scenario in the run, though. That comes next. All right, there's our 6. Let's max our loan, and we will need to do 2 rounds of ads for this one. Alright, perfect. Turbo mode, hire our staff. Let me open this back up. Monitor. And here we go. Awesome. We can do, we're pretty close to our goal, so we can do another, like, not a full cycle of ads here. And here is our 1,000. Perfect. Next up is Crumply Woods, the easiest scenario on the run. All we need to do here, this is a fully functioning park, so all we need to do is run our ads right off the bat. There are apparently lots of rides in this park, and food stalls and everything. I have never actually, in my whole time playing this game, scrolled through to look at what this park looks like, because I tend to avoid the scenarios that are like pre-built in casual play, and in the speedrun you never need to scroll past the park entrance. So alright, perfect. There's Crumply Woods, easiest one in the scenario, in the run. Next up is Big Pier, which is looks challenging because it's all water and no land. So we need to build this little underpass here. Then go to our research and unlock the looping coaster, and we'll be placing 4 of those along. Whoops. Like I was saying before, the opening the wrong windows is a plague in this run, but 2, 3. Thankfully, we have hotkeys in OpenRCT for closing windows. 4, and sometimes the game closes windows for you when you have too many of them open, which helps. Alright, so now we run our ads, and then we go into turbo mode. Speaking of which, the turbo mode in OpenRCT is kind of what makes this speedrun possible. Obviously you can do these same strats to reach the objectives without using turbo speed, but it ends up being a much longer speedrun, and really playing all of the base scenarios like this really wouldn't happen. Alright, next up is Lightning Peaks, which is one of the more challenging ones in the run. We need to build 7 coasters, 1, and the placement is very specific. 2, because that fence along the path. 3 will really ruin your day. If there's a fence between your path on the ride if there's a fence between your path on the ride and the already built path, it won't connect them. 5. Okay, we come over here to build the last 3, which is relatively easier, but still pretty precise. Whoops. Over rotating here. That's our 6, and 7 can go up here. Now we just need to build a food, drink, and bathroom, and run our ads. This is another one because we maxed our loan already. We'll do the 6 weeks of the most expensive ads to not run out of money, and 12 weeks for everything else, including vouchers for free food and drink. Hire some staff. And once everything runs out, we might not need it. There we go, nice. It's a nice gold split for Lightning Peaks. Alright, Ivory Towers is a fully functioning-ish park with lots of problems, namely all the puke and litter and vandalism. So we're going to clean that up, but first we're going to build 7 of these looping coasters. Okay, and that's 4 on this side of the river, and I do the other 3 over here. And then that's 5, 6, 7, and then I build stalls, a bathroom, or let's go burger bar. Whoops. Drinks. The freaking loan window got in my way. And then a bathroom right here. Then we max our loan, and before we go and do hyperspeed, let me do our ads. Normally I wouldn't do the ads first, but I started them, so I'll finish them so they all run out at the same time. We hire a bunch of handymen and mechanics to start cleaning up this dump, and we're gonna see if we get it in one. We don't typically... Oh, nice, we got it in one. Oh, nice, that's a good gold split. Okay, Rainbow Valley is kind of the it's the penultimate scenario, but it's kind of the final boss of the run. It's definitely the most time consuming and the one with the most steps. So first thing we want to do is build this path along the river. The big challenge of this run, of this scenario, is that not only can we not alter the landscape at all, we are also prohibited from removing any trees. So in order to get around that, we build a lot of path, including in here what I always thought as a kid was the coolest part of RollerCoaster Tycoon, building stuff underground. So we build a big path along the entire perimeter of the park so that guests have plenty of space to walk around. And also so that we have a bunch of nice, even flat surfaces to build our coasters on. So we come around here and go down to, and back down to the water level. Okay, we come across here, follow the river some more, and back up. Okay, connecting at the front entrance, and now we need to unlock our looping coaster for the last time. Okay, max our loan while we wait. And here we go. Perfect. Now we're going to place 7 of these in pretty specific spots. The first one will be right here near the park entrance. Like I said, it's okay if you don't have the queue line and the exit path most of the time. The next one will go here. And we're going to place one up here in this little nook. Again, without an exit path or queue line. Now the rest of them are going to be down on water level. Again, because we can't remove... whoops, over rotating. Because we can't remove any trees or alter the landscape, it can get pretty tricky to place these effectively. But, oh, there we go. That's 5. 6 can go... Oh, awesome. Okay. Oh. Here's 6. All right, and 7 can go up here. Nope, let me rotate. It can be tricky. There we go. Perfect. And now we need to connect all of the requisite paths. No, that's not going to work. Okay. This will be good. Okay, perfect. 1, 2. This one's fine. These 2 are fine. Here comes... We need to connect this one down to the dirt path. Okay, that one's fine. And then finally this one near the other side of the lake or the river. Okay, perfect. And now we can start our... we need to open them all. And then again, we maxed out our loan, so we do 6 weeks of the most expensive ones. And then 12 weeks of everything else. 12. And then we hit turbo, hire our staff, and now this one can be a little bit of a nail biter because of how tight money is. And we need to restart all of our campaigns. We can do 12 weeks on the heavy hitters this time around, but we're probably gonna run out of money on on this one. Okay, we turbo again, go back to normal, start as many of these as we can. Alright, we should be good here. Come on, come on, come on. Awesome. Oh, that was a nice fat time save. This is very close to world record. It's not quite gonna make it, but It's very close. Okay. Last scenario is Thunder Rock. We just need to place 5 looping coasters. So there's 3, 4, 5, and run our ads. And this won't take us all the way home. We'll need to do one more bump at the end. Come on. Okay. Hire some staff. This is definitely going to PB. It's going to be a very good PB, actually. Okay, let's do one last bump of everything. Oh, so close, come on. There we go. Awesome, and that is RCT1, all base scenarios.